I need to get their money back, plus make profit. Duh. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm about that life. Yeah. Like, I'm not saying that.
Caz beat Duffy coming up soon.
I was nearly in tears just sitting there, man. It's crazy. And I'm going to be back on TV. But as soon as I leave, as soon as I move out, it's going to just be the dumb of Fife. Because the King's going to leave, bro.
Right guys, hello and welcome back to McCallum Productions Podcast, episode 12 today. We're here with Fife's finest coffee connoisseur, Caz Milligan. How's it going, mate?
It's happening, bro. It's good, it's good.
It's good to have you on. It's good to be back. We've had a wee bit of...
It's good to be here.
We've had a wee bit of hiatus, so it's good to be back into the swing of things, back with interviews and
long time coming as well.
Definitely been in the works for a wee while, eh?
It has.
So just to get started, I thought since you are Fife's finest, I thought we'd just have a general chat about the Kingdom and sort of growing up in Fife.
As soon as I leave, as soon as I move out, it's going to just be the dumb of Fife.
Right, okay.
Because the King's going to leave, bro.
Dom Milligan. So I take it you've been in Fife your whole life then, yeah?
I have, bro, aye.
So where was it you grew up in?
Methil.
Oh yes.
The toughest part.
So being from Fife, obviously the main sort of club in, well, Dunfermline and Fife, Zoes, when is the guest appearance?
Whenever they get the bag ready. I'm not coming for free.
Too right. That £6 entry for the guests, that's what it's all about, man. So obviously growing up in Methil, like you're saying, it's one of the toughest parts in Fife. How has your journey been to now? Obviously you're in like the public eye quite a lot now. How has your journey been? Has it been steady or has it been a hard grind?
Bro, slow. Very slow, man. Like people, obviously I've sort of like blew up, kinda, on TikTok. People just think I'm just this random guy that just sort of got lucky on TikTok. I'm not saying I've made it or nothing, bro, but do you know what I mean?
But you're in the public eye, like a fair bit.
The attention that I've got, like in Scotland especially, like people just think I randomly blew up. I'm going to like, do you know what I mean? Like nobody's going to know me in the next year. I'm just this guy that's got blow up off this chocolate shit, then die again. But I've been at it for like 5 years, bro. Yeah. 5.5 years.
I was just about to ask you that. How long you actually been
so like
kicking about for
when I started properly chasing my dream when I was 20. I just became single and I had like missed out in like 18, 19, like, do you know what I mean? That age I missed all that shit. So I started like going out, I started getting into modelling, I started doing like being an influencer. I'm not an influencer anymore, right? But I started being like an influencer.
That was like your first step in.
Before it was cool, bro. Like one of the, do you know what I mean? Before it even started, basically. And then everybody was like, even especially Fife, because it was only Fife that really knew me at this point. They were like, oh, what the fuck are you doing? That's cringe. Why are you trying to be this? You're trying to be a model. Now every single one of yous are an influencer. Like, what was that chat 5 years ago? Do you get me? Every single person on Instagram's an influencer now. And listen, go get your money. Like, if this is your dream, chase it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and judge anybody for being an influencer, but I'm not an influencer. I'm a businessman. I've got my own business. I'm an entrepreneur. And it's like, if you brand yourself as an influencer now, you could never win as well. There's too many negative people in the world. So, like, for example, there'll be like 30-year-old men. It's like, oh, influencer, that's not a real job. You're no influencing anybody. But as soon as an influencer does wrong, it's like, you're meant to influence people. You could never win being an influencer. So
that's true.
I never want to be exactly. So I never want to be branded as an influencer.
Because that's what we were saying. We've talked about that on the podcast before. As soon as anyone's doing something outside the norm, they're just getting slated for it.
Exactly.
And I think that's like it's harshest. It's harshest like in Fife because like it's not like it's a big city. It's like quite small communities and stuff like that. But
it will never change either because like as for example the influencing that was like so outside the box 5 years ago, but nobody really. You didn't get judged trying to be an influencer anymore because it's so normal.
Yeah, it's normal now.
But it's because people know that there's money in it. Like but there's money to be made in it.
Doing something else now is outside the box, but in 5 years that's going to be normal.
Yeah.
But people will just struggle to understand that. It's like, I don't know, it's closed-minded people. It's small town mentality.
I think it's like a generational thing as well, to be honest. Just like that mix between like, what age are you now? 25. So like that 5 year plus, like if you're 30 and over, it's like slowly like turns and you're not too sure what's going on.
For sure, but I had this conversation with some days like In fact, it was Biggs. You know Biggs for Live.
Yeah.
Oh, right,
he was like, oh, because he's 29.
Right.
And he was like, fuck, like, is this going to be me when I'm 30, 31, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, you're judging the current thing from a 40-year-old now. But us, since we're from like the influence and blah, 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 when we're 35, it's not going to be we're too old for it.
Yeah,
because we're that generation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So we're never going to be, we're too old for that now, because it's going to grow up with us.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Definitely, man.
So you were saying, obviously, you're not an influencer, you're a businessman. What was it that drove you to start your own company, Ligan Goods?
It's always been a dream, bro. I've always been really like into fashion, and it's always intrigued me. Like people, for example, like I like to dig deeper into things. Like, so if someone's like, "Oh, that's a sick pair of jeans," and then they'll go and buy it, I want to know who designed it.
Right, yeah,
like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I've always been intrigued with that shit. So it's always been an interest. And then when I started the influencing and the modelling, and then I was going down London modelling, and then I ended up becoming a creative director for 2 clothing brands down London. So then I started getting more experience, better contacts, knowing how to like make clothes, design clothes, manufacture, stuff like that. So when I ended up moving back up Scotland and I lost that job, I was like, fuck it, I'll just do it myself. Like, create my own brand.
Well, you've had your foot in the pool before, you know how to like, do it yourself.
Contacts, exactly. Yeah. So then I just started my own brand. I had the contacts, blah, blah, blah. But then that's when the negative people come in. They're like, oh, but you got lucky. You know these contacts, you know these people. But it's like, how's that lucky? That's me. I moved.
You put yourself
I moved to London with no money. Like, I risked my life, but I took that big jump.
Risking a lot.
Risking a lot, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I never got lucky into modelling either, because every photo shoot down London, my first like 4 photo shoots in London, I never got paid for. So I had to get the trains, I had to get the hotels. It was like £600 a trip.
Yeah.
Investing in myself to get there.
Yeah.
It's like there's no luck in it, man. It's investing in hard work. That's all it is to get to where you want to be in life. And I'm still, again, I'm not saying I've made it. I'm not a millionaire, nothing like that. I'm still just trying to get to where I want to be. So I just keep hustling.
Yeah. So how did those job opportunities in London come? So what was like the sort of...
I started, so the influence and that sort of like, I started putting it on my Instagram. And as I say, no much people were doing it back then. So it was easier to find the influencer.
Yeah, like the right people. Yeah.
So I got noticed on Instagram, and the brand down London was like, come model for us. So I was gassed. I was like, what the fuck?
Not every day you get that.
Especially back then.
Yeah.
So I went down London, I modelled, and then again, it was like my 4th shoot down there. He was like, I need somebody to help run the whole business, like direct it. I need like another vision sort of thing. So I was like, cool.
Get me on board.
And he was like, then I go home. I was like, fuck, sound. I only had like 2 days worth of clothes as well. I ended up staying there for
boxers inside out and that.
Legit. Sleeping on the floor and shit, bro. And then I phoned my dad. I was like, I'm not coming home. I'll be home in like a week or something, because he would just wanted to like give me a trial, see how I do. First day, knocked out the park.
No,
absolutely smashed it. I smashed it, bro. Went home, got more clothes, and then moved down there for like about a year.
Nice one, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So do you ever like miss that? Do you ever think like, I could? That's like easier than like being the sort of the main head of your business. Like,
nah, because like even when I was modelling, bro, like you see this modelling stuff, people were like, oh, you failed, you only modelled for a year. My day ones, like my Fife boys, they know it was all part of the plan. I knew I was only going to model for like 2-3 years, and then I knew I wanted to be like behind the brand, if that makes sense. So for example, like when I was a model, right, going to these photo shoots, getting booked, I knew that there was other photo shoots that I'm not getting booked for. There's photo shoots, there's thousands of photo shoots happening every day, and I'm not. Do you know what I mean? So you're relying on somebody to book you. I wanted to be the guy that booked people. I didn't want to rely on anybody or whatever. So that's when I thought, like, I need my own brand. I didn't want to rely on people. Do you know what I mean? Rely on opportunities. I want to create opportunities for other people. So that's what I've started done. Like, I've went away and got big models for my brand. I've got people that want to get into the modelling industry that I know or I feel like they've got potential. I'll book them. Do you know what I mean? I'll give them a bit of money, but I'm not going to sit here and say I'm paying my models £500-600 like actual models, because they're no established models.
No, just getting that experience.
I'll give them no pocket money. I'll give them about £100 or whatever. Yeah. Just be like, here, I need you for 2 hours. It's like a model that's never modelled before, and they're getting £50 an hour.
And so it's experience for them.
Exactly.
Well.
I want to give people experience and give them opportunities and give them like the first step of the ladder. And do you know what I mean? I feel, I don't know if it's like, is it a selfish feeling for I like giving people opportunities because it makes me feel good?
I wouldn't say that's selfish, or that's helping other people because you know the experiences you've had to go through.
I like both. It makes me feel good in myself being like a good fucking human being, and I like other people like rising. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair enough, man. But so you were saying, like, obviously when you see something like somebody's like, oh, I've bought this, and then you delve into who's designed it, this, that, and the next thing. Who would you say your inspirations are then?
Bro, I get asked this all the time, man. I've no really got like a certain person. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's never really like that.
Just a bit of everything.
It's just everything inspires me, bro. Like, see if I jump on Instagram and I see someone's graduated uni, like that fires me up. I'm like, oh, that's sick. Like, just seeing people happy inspires me, bro. But in the fashion industry, I wouldn't say I've got like a certain somebody that inspires me. There's a guy called Val Christopher. He's obviously quite a big brand and shit, but I doubt you've heard of him.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's no like big superstars really. Kanye West as well. He's sick. He's sick. He just likes. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't care about judgment. No. And people are like, oh, he's crazy. It's like, he's just woke, man. Like, he might be a wee bit crazy, whatever, but the guy's sick. Like, you can't take it away from him.
No.
But it's like, I don't know. It's like, I've got mates that are killing it. Like, do you know what I mean? Doing like 6 figures a month. So it's like, just knowing that they're my mates and knowing that it's just like a reach away inspires me as well. Like that, do you know what I mean? That's going to be me in a few years or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like that as well, just being so close to people that are that, do you know what I mean? Step in the ladder above me.
Knowing that you can get to it if you keep grinding as well.
Exactly. Just knowing that it's possible, do you know what I mean? Rather than only knowing superstars are there.
Yeah.
Just knowing, actually being mates with people that are there is inspiring as well, for sure.
Nice one. So, recently you celebrated your baby's first birthday.
Did you fall for that?
No, I knew roughly like what you were on about because I was like, there's no way he's got to win.
By the way, I just want to say this as well before we dive into that. I never ever clickbait and I never ever lie online. It's all about somebody else's assumption. If I say it's my baby's first birthday on a title on YouTube, that's your fault for guessing it was a baby. Like, my brand, so what he was saying is Ligan Goods, my company, it was my company's first birthday, but that's my baby to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I never clickbait, man.
So obviously that was a big achievement for you to be going 365 days later.
For sure, man.
As well.
It's just the wee things like that I'm so grateful for.
Yeah.
And happy, but obviously, again, the negative people are always going to say I'm no humble, blah, blah, blah. But, bro, I cry regularly. Just from, like, overwhelming feelings. I don't really cry at sad shit. But, like, just knowing where I'm... Do you know what I mean? Like, I predict everything that's happening in my career. It's all online. It's all on content. I say I'm going to be here next year, and it happens. And it's like... It's not a cookie thing or whatever. That's just me working hard towards my goals. So of course, like, let me be happy about it. Do you know what I mean?
Knowing what you want.
For sure.
Do you set yourself targets? Like, do you just take it gradually as it comes?
I do. I set target for like what in business or
just like in general. Like you're saying there, like obviously in the next year you want to be this place.
I set like it's never like massive pressure targets. It's just like, for example, I says about 2 years ago, like within the next year I'll be on a podcast, and then I was. Do you know what I mean? And then as soon as I got on that podcast, you asked me to be on yours, and then a few months later here we are. But it's like, it's small things like that I might set targets to, and then in business, coming up to a launch day, I might be like, right, I want to make, on this launch day, I want to make $3,000 in the first 24 hours of the launch. Just small targets like that, do you know what I mean? So I'll set targets like that, but it's never like massive. But I do like to manifest, but like, I'm going to have a mansion, I'm going to have a Lamborghini, like. But they're no like, I need to hit this in 2 years. That's too much. I'm realistic, do you know what I mean? It's too much pressure. So I didn't set targets like, I need this by then. If that makes sense.
It's just a gradual.
Like this is, you know, this is what you want. If you get it by a year, 2 years, then.
Like I said on my last YouTube video, that I know, like, my mind's already in the future. Like, I'm already living in the future. I've got the Lamborghinis, the mansions. It's just, I'm just waiting on reality to catch up to it. Like, that's how strong my manifestation is. Like, I'm literally just waiting for everybody else to see it, and for me to see it in real life. Does that make sense?
You do kind of have to have that mindset.
You need to, bro. Like,
especially if you've got a business, you can't just be living in the moment. You've got to be ahead of yourself.
You need to be, and like, if you want that shit, you need to like. I don't know, man. It's just a big rabbit hole. I could talk for hours about it. Like,
I know what you mean.
But I mean, even then, you've hit like, what was it, 50,000 session stores as well. Like that's huge. Like that's massive.
First year.
Mental. Like how many people can say they've done
and
that?
Bro, I got 50,000 website sessions, right? In the first year, I never once paid like I never used influence and marketing. Like I never. Do you know what I mean? Used my
like
the big guys that I know. Like, do you know what I mean? It was just me and just business, like behind the scenes shit that nobody really sees. So do you know what I mean? Like it could have been more if I put more money into it and do you know what I mean? Used influence and marketing and stuff. It could have been more, but I'm proud of that 50k first year.
No ads, no nothing.
No ads or nothing. Like I done a few ads like in Facebook ads and stuff, but it was like 50 quid here, 50 quid there. It wasn't like
splashing in
nothing
2.5 grand ads and shit. It was nothing like that, man. So that was sick.
But even then, that's like a lot of it's down to you rather than like the ads. Like if you get me, like
sure.
Because obviously you've got your new shades, the chocolate creams. Obviously it's like selling a meme, fans, if you will.
The chocolate creams, man. Like when the whole chocolate thing like blew up on TikTok, everybody was like, "Oh, bring out like chocolate T-shirts, all this shit." I'm like, that's a mockery. Like, too much a gimmick for the brand. I didn't want to involve that into the brand. Like if anything, it would be like separate merch. But even at that, I'm like, you're just putting yourself in a position to be mocked, like a laughing stock. Do you know what I mean? I know how to like divide. Like I'll still say certain stuff to get people to do certain things online and shit, right? But I still know how to like step back and separate that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like Ligan Goods is a serious brand. So when I brought out the chocolate creams, it's just the same colour. So it's just the colour scheme of the glasses.
But even then, it's like driving that. Like obviously, it's a big thing. Like obviously, everyone's like, "Oh, the chocolate cream."
Exactly.
Like,
and then they sold out in 48 hours. And then everybody on TikTok, nobody's gonna fucking buy these or wear these. I'm like, bro, they sold out in 48 hours. When does this come out? This podcast?
Probably this week or next week.
Well, they're restocked now, so. First link in the description. I want to see that.
That's a big ask, that.
No sell it in 25. 48 hours with that, mate.
But like obviously, like the chocolate cream part is like it's massive. Like how do you deal with that? Like obviously, people are like there's people are like genuinely supporting you, but then obviously like the hate comes with it as well. Like, how do you deal with that?
Of course, man. Like I mind when. Like, as I say, like, I knew all this was coming. I predict everything in my career. Like, I knew that I was eventually going to get to the point where this happens, and it's only going to get, like, worse. Do you know what I mean? Like, the hate's only going to get bigger and shit, so I try and prepare myself, like, before it happens. But I remember when the hate first, like, ramped up to, like, the whole of Scotland. Like, even my dad was working down Wales or something, or, like, somewhere down south anyway, and even at his work, people were saying shit. So then that's when all the boom, it was like 40 tweets a day. Like I was getting like 500 messages, comments like on a daily basis. When that first happened, I was like, oh shit. Honestly, it got to me a wee bit, right? And I made like a whole like YouTube video about it, like talking about it, try to like, do you know what I mean? Just even try to share it to be relatable to other people that might want to dive into that situation. But then honestly, within a week, I was like, nah, I'm so used to it, man. I just started
adapting to it.
You just need to understand it, bro. Like, understand why people are hating. Like, listen, if you're truly happy, I mean truly happy in life, you'll never, ever, ever drop a hate comment. And that's a fact. If you drop a hate comment, there's something, I'm not saying you're like a whatever, but there's something in your life that's maybe just triggering at the back of your mind, and you might not even know it as well.
It's like you're projecting almost.
Bro, like, it's a fact, bro. It's like, see if someone, like, I'm a happy person, right? But if someone does something online that pisses me off, for example, I'm not going to be like, oh, you blah, 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 blah. I'm going to be like, oh, fuck's sake. And then just scroll past. Because I'm happy in life, bro. I'm not going to let something like bother me. I didn't need to like push my opinion out there just for a few likes or whatever. So like when I started realising and understanding why people hate, like I didn't even hate my haters. I've got so much haters now. I literally say to most of them, like, bro, I wish you happiness, like ASAP. And they're like, oh, you can I'm happy. It's like maybe in another 5 years you'll realise why you weren't happy. Like it takes time for
trying to make sense of it.
Bro, it's like,
because they'll not expect you to be like, oh, I wish you happiness. They'll just be like,
nah, bro, they'll never expect that. But I do like, I wish happiness upon everybody, bro. Because like I've says this in the past, like I've dealt with depression, anxiety and shit, so I wouldn't even wish that upon my worst enemy, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? So when I see people hating, I'm like, fuck, like they must be like down bad in life. So it's like, I wish you happiness, bro, because one, if you're happy, you're not going to drop hate comments anymore, which means there's somebody at the other end that's not going to have a risk of committing suicide. Because people kill themselves with hate comments, and like as soon as you stop dropping hate comments, you're happier in life. So that's why I wish happiness on everybody.
So would you say anything's like ever sort of triggered you to be like sort of maybe like trigger your anxiety or like fall back into like struggling with hate comments? Like,
nah, not really with hate anymore, man. Legit, like you need it. It's as shitty as like like, even though I wish everybody stops, like not even just on me, because I could handle it, it's just for other people that cannot handle it. That's why I wish everybody could fucking stop. But you kind of need hate to become to like where I want to be in life. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying becoming famous is the number one priority in life. It's no, man. Like happiness is, but like working a 9 to 5 and shit, if you're truly happy doing that, you've made it in life. I'm just no happy. Like that drives me into depression. Like I fucking hate it. So where I want to be in life, I need to become in the public. I need all these different things to finally get to where I want to be. So you need haters to become bigger in the public eye.
So would you say that drives you more than like love and support?
Nah, no more, nah. But you just need it, man.
Just need it there in the back to give you that extra wee kick.
For sure, because like I want to say that as well for anybody else. It's like chasing their dream and they get hate comments and they're like, "What, fuck that."
Yeah.
Like, just try and understand what I'm saying now, that you need it, and then just use it as fuel. Just be like, "Oh, there's another hate comment. Sound, give me it."
Yeah.
No, I'm going to, do you know what I mean?
It is a given as well. Like, there's no one that's not going to get it.
Never.
like even we've had shit like go on.
Exactly.
Not major, but like.
But still, like, you're doing a podcast, you're trying to, like, do you know what I mean? Break through. And I'm assuming you didn't care about fame, but you still want to be the biggest podcast. Like, that's still a dream.
It's like, ambition, why do it if like you're not, if it's not like what you're aiming for? Like,
do you know what I mean? So it's like, but with that, it's going to come fame. Do you get me? That's what I'm trying to say. Like Joe Rogan, like his goal was to be number one. No, he is. No, he's famous before it, but you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so like if you've got big dreams, fame's gonna come with it. And if fame's gonna come with it, you need to learn how to deal with the hate, because it's gonna come.
Exactly.
But obviously with the hate, there's obviously a lot of support for you as well.
Oh man, bro, I swear the support, like, I love every single supporter, bro. Like, even if you're watching this right now, like, it changes my life and my family's life. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if it's just a subscribe on YouTube or a like or a view or anything at all, bro, or like buy the cheapest thing on the website, anything at all to support me just helps change a life. And it's like, that's why I say everybody, like, jump on board now, because everybody's seen me predict everything. So why do you not believe? Like, 5 years I've predicted shit. So why do you not believe I'm going to predict the next 5 years?
Like, you've already done
Just listen to me and believe in me, and if you jump on board now, you could be like, I was there for the start. Do you get me?
Because that was like, see, when we were like, oh yeah, we're getting Caz on the podcast, the amount of our pals that were like, fucking, I want to come down. Like, come and watch.
Like, how you manage that? Like, it's just for the fact, like, we've got mates that will generally make references daily just because it's funny. It's just
like, see, every time you're like going live on Instagram or TikTok, it's like a message in the group chat, like, Caz is going live now. Like, jump on it.
It's just that part of the way. It's not even
man. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, the thing is, there's people that like will give me like banter comments, and it's like, it comes across hatey, but I know how to. I know how to tell a hater between like a guy that's trying to be funny.
Exactly.
Do you get me?
Exactly.
Like, it gets to that point where I can like tell.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. So like people that like actually put banter comments, like I laugh. Like bro, people think that if they tweet about me, right, I'm gonna start. I've not even got a Twitter account. Do you know what I mean? I'm still the biggest guy on Twitter in Scotland. And that's a
trending.
But people think I'm gonna read it and like cry. I'm literally like showing my mum, I'm absolutely pissing myself with my mum, like, oh, this guy, like, I don't know, man. But this love and support's massive, especially when I go out in Edinburgh.
Yeah,
bro, it's mental, bro. Like, I can't even believe, like, it's on half of my vlogs as well. I was in Edinburgh yesterday. I vlogged it. It'll be on my YouTube channel now. But it's, bro, I can't believe it, bro. I can't believe it because I've manifested it, but
it still feels a bit surreal.
Aye, bro. It's like, it's not that I'm used to it, right? But like, that's the past like 6 times I've been to Edinburgh. Like I'll get stopped for a photo like every 2.5 minutes. It's fucking. There was a hen do yesterday.
I seen that preview you put on your story.
And like the bride was like getting photos and shit. I was like, I can't wait for this title.
Ruined the wedding.
Don't tell the groom. But it's just like stuff like that. But that's why I'm saying, like with the hate comments, not one hater's approached me in real life.
Yeah, it's all behind the screen.
Bro, it's always behind the screen, and I'm not trying to like put that out there to manifest a hater to come at me, right? Because listen, I just want I want an easier life. But there's been people that there was a guy on Twitter, right? He's probably watching this because he's probably a hater, right? But he begged me for a photo. This was like 2 months ago, right? He begged me for a photo. I took one. Then he made a TikTok of me walking in front of him. I don't know if you've seen it on Twitter. And I was like, did you see it? I was like 50 yards in front of him and he was whispering to his phone like that. Oh, there's Caz Milligan. He shot himself. Like, I'm like, speak up, bro. So do you get me? And
I'm pretty sure he went to the same school as us. He's a year below us.
Really?
You'll know who it is when I tell you that.
I was just like that. That's when you know, like, people are just people in the back know who it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm trying to say though, is like, people be nice to my face, right? But then they'll go on like whisper to and then video me to put it on the internet just for likes. But it's like, bro, you'll get so much more attention if you just show that you like. Hating me used to be the online trend. You'll get likes. Now if you love me, that's the unique thing. So if you show love, you might even get more likes there. I don't know.
But even then it's like, because like, so I wouldn't say it's like cancel culture, but if like you're fucking trying to bully somebody online, folk are gonna be like, fucking cut it out, like what are you doing that for? Like,
mate, I've seen tweets like Caz Milligan has a whole of Scotland on strings and stuff like
that. That's another thing as well, man. Like, I didn't say this too much because obviously it's like part of my strategies and shit, right? But bro, everything I put online is all meant and planned and got strategy behind it. It's like, do you know what I mean? When I like, fuck it, I'll just expose it, man. Like, I know there's haters. I know this is a negative country mainly, but it's a negative world that we live in. So I was like, I'm gonna fucking take advantage of this. So I make it look like sometimes that I'm losing just for people to laugh at me and share it. Oh, look at Caz, oh, he fucked up here, blah blah blah. And then I need to bite my tongue and just sit back like that and face that I'm taking an L. But really it was just a strategy for everybody to share it.
Because that's the thing, like you're saying, like people are like commenting, sending you messages and stuff, like that's helping you, like your engagement online and stuff like that. Like
it's everything's meant, like, and just. But the thing is, even if I say it now, is nobody's going to be like, oh shit, let's not do it. They're too angry in life. They're going to still do it anyway. Do you get me? And then as soon as that comes to boring and people start clicking on, then I'm just going to hanky something else.
New thing.
So I'm always going to be on top of everything. Like I analyze human behaviour, like. Bro, it's like I've got a master in psychology and I've never studied it once in my life. I've just spent years just trying to study like human behaviour and then I'll just take advantage of it. Does that make sense?
No, because I mean, there's always going to be like hate regardless of like, so like we were saying, it's like outside the box, like it's different from the norm. Like there's always going to be hate. So I mean,
for sure,
it's going to come regardless. So I mean, it's easy to predict like when it's going to come with what you're saying and what you're doing and stuff. But I mean. Obviously, despite being the psychology mastermind, you're a bit of a philanthropist as well.
What does that mean?
So, like, you help out everyone. Like, you're.
Don't look at me, mate.
Didn't ask me to spell it. Didn't ask me to spell it. Like that. But, like, obviously, like you've been to like, was it Aiden that was a fan? And you went to see him. He was in hospital.
Aye. We Aiden, man. No, I try. Like, before we get into that, right? People are always like, oh. He's or she's got a big following and they're not putting it to good use, but as soon as you do, people are like, you're only doing it for likes. You're only doing it for clout. It's like, but you're just moaning that these influencers are not using their platforms for good use. Like, so I try my best to put it to good use. Now listen, every good deed I do does not go on the internet. That's what people like. Do you know what I mean? If you do a good deed, even if you do one good deed on the internet once in your whole entire life, people will assume that's the only good deed you've done and you've put it on the internet for clout. That's not the case. Like, I give away, like, on the 1st of January, like, I say every year, I've done it the past 2 or 3 years, I try and do, like, a big thing, like, just for society or the community or whatever. And I just do it the 1st of January. So, like, that year there, I gave away 10 grand worth of clothes. But people are like, oh, you're only doing that for clout. It's like, do you really think I'm only doing that on the 1st of January?
Hi. Yeah, exactly.
Like, I get clothes. I've got a clothing brand. I get clothes daily.
Yeah.
I have too much clothes, bro. I give that shit away on a monthly basis. And it's like wee things like going to Starbucks and giving a random worker an iPhone 10.
Yeah.
Well, you only done that for likes. It's entertainment. Shut the fuck up, man. Like, it's not like I'm going away and filming myself, like, giving a homeless guy a burger and shit. Do you know what I mean? It's it's a Starbucks worker, bro. I'm giving her an iPhone, like, cheer the fuck up. So, like, again,
just jealous it wasn't them.
Exactly, bro. But then when Mr. Beast does it, with 100 million subscribers, every single video he gives away £1 million or whatever. Yeah. He's a legend. But listen, the comments now, Caz is comparing himself to Mr. Beast. No, I'm not. I'm just saying, how is Mr. Beast a legend for doing it to these people, but I'm only doing it for clout. It's because I do it on a relatable. A relatable
sort of level rather than being like, you've not got £1 million to give away.
I'm doing it on a relatable level.
Fucking crazy.
To the point where people are like, shit, I'm not doing that. Fuck it, you're only doing it for likes. No, you're just mad because you're not doing it. And I'm a better human being than you.
Be in your shoes.
Do you know what I mean? I'm no, like, I don't know, man. So going back to the Aiden situation, he jumped on my TikTok live just randomly, and he was in a hospital bed. And I was like, fuck, what's wrong, blah, blah, blah. And he says that he had cancer. And I was like, fuck. So I said to him, as soon as, like, COVID restrictions come up, like are done, I'll come and visit you. So I kept in touch with him. And again, everybody, you only said that on live for me. Shut the fuck up, man. Do you know what I mean? So as soon as COVID rules, like, finished or whatever, I would just hit him up. I was like, can I still come visit you? He was like, aye, for sure, whatever. So I went and visited him, can I tin him some clothes and whatever, and then wasn't filming for fucking anything, but he wanted to be on my TikTok. Do you know what I mean? This is how sad you idiots are, right? Is because a guy that's got cancer in hospital wanted to be on my TikTok, but then use or reverse it to be like, Caz, you're only one. But if I didn't put him on my TikTok, Caz, you're fucking sick, he asked for this, you never done it. Do you get me? Yeah. That's why I'm saying you could never fucking win. Right. And I say it doesn't get to me and I'm angry the now, but when it gets to shit like that, it's like, just pack it in, man. Do you get me? That's just, when it gets to that shit, just leave it. So I done a few TikToks where I made him happy, made him smile. His mum was grateful for it, whatever. And then he went back in for his third treatment of chemo, I think. And I says to him again, as soon as you're healthy enough and shit, I'll come back and see you. And we've kept in touch ever since. So again, just, do you know what I mean? If I've got that platform for people to be like, I want you to come see me or whatever, I'm going to fucking do it, bro. Do you get me? So it's like, but everything that you do good in the social media, that will just get brushed under the rug. Yeah,
and there's always a way that somebody's wanting to try and flip it as well.
Yeah. Exactly, bro. That's why I'm saying, like, you're never going to win, so you just need to, like, get used to it, basically. But Aiden, man, he's a fucking strong, bro. Yeah. Like, he's proper strong, like, do you know what I mean? He was just chilling there, like, I'm gonna be alright, I'm gonna fight it. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I was nearly in tears just sitting with him, man. It's crazy. Just shows how grateful you need to be to not even go through that.
Exactly. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah.
For sure.
But so on a bit of a lighter note, sort of, I don't know when it was, but it came to sort of fruition not that long ago that you were on Dressed to Impress.
Oh, that popped back up, man. Fuck.
So when about was that?
That was in Manchester. So I was before the whole chocolate shit. And so that was on ITV2. And then it ended up getting aired like on a weekly basis at this point.
Right, just like reruns and that.
It's like the most viewed episode of series 1 and 2. And then obviously it kept getting aired, and then the chocolate thing blew up. And then obviously somebody had ended up seeing it and then sharing it. Everybody watched it again, so then it just came back again. I was like, fuck. And then it was funny, man, though. Proper funny. And I'm going to be, I'll say it, this is me manifesting again, I'm going to be back on TV. Fact. Nothing's planned, but I will be back on TV.
So what do you think you'll be on then?
This time next year.
Casa Amor.
So have you ever
Lucinda, DM me once you're out.
Fair enough, man, fair enough. So would you think that your stint in boxing would get you on the TV then?
See if people knew the actual plan behind that shit. I couldn't say too much, right? Because there was events company, there was investors. Like, I wasn't allowed to say too much about it. But, oh man, I'm going to talk about the boxing, right? So, when I first thought about it, like, over here, like, I want to make Scotland like LA. LA's popping, and everybody's like, oh, but that's LA, aye, and you fucking watch and read about it every day of your life. So why not bring it to home? Like, why not bring that buzz here?
Yeah.
So I was like, Scotland needs a buzz. Scotland needs, like, gossip.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
So
there's not much.
Exactly. There's no gossip apart from the goat, and that's me, right? But people, like, there's no gossip in Scotland, right? And I just wanted to create a bit of gossip, just create a bit of excitement for the country. Do you know what I mean? Get, like, there's no like paparazzi here, nothing, because there's nothing to take photos of. But you go down London, it's popping down there, and everybody's investing in that. Why not invest in your own country? So that's how I started thinking about the boxing. And again, everybody was like, "Oh, you couldn't punch, blah blah blah." My dad, like, but I've said it a million times. My dad's a retired, undefeated professional boxer. He was a captain of Scotland. He travelled the world boxing undefeated. Like, it's not like I've never had gloves on before in my life. Do you get me? I grew up with the sport. I can how to box. But listen, also, then I had professional boxers saying, "Pick me." I'm not saying I'm a professional. Like, if you've done boxing your whole life, you'll
Jake
probably not fucking. Like, if you've done boxing your whole life, you'll probably, do you know what I mean? You'll smash me in the ring. But for somebody that's like never done it or done a wee bit, I'm going to win. Do you understand? So that all came about, and then let's drop names. Fuck it. So then I was like, who do you want me to fight? And that's the one that blew up. I was in the car coming back from London, in fact, when I was like, I'll just put up a TikTok, and that blew up, man. Everybody fired names in. The most name that was in the comment, Mark Hamilton, right? At this point, I had, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't even really ken much about Mark Hamilton.
Yeah.
I just knew that I've never spoke about him online before, up to this point. But he had tweeted about me, he'd make TikToks about me, hating me. So at this point, he's like already spoke publicly about me, like on a hating level, but I've never spoke about him. So I was like, oh, that makes sense. So then I said Mark Hamilton, and then boom, Mark Hamilton's like, oh, stop using my name for likes. It's like, but you've used my name like 10 times before this. I've never used your name once, bro. Do you know what I mean? But to me, it was still just entertainment purposes. Like, I didn't have beef with him. I didn't have I knew nothing about him. But obviously, he turned it to beef, and he was like, and I offered him 10 grand to jump in the ring. Publicly offered him 10 grand, right? And by the way, before I carry on, everybody was like, charity boxing match. I never once said it was charity boxing match. Mark Hamilton said that on a TikTok that started the charity thing. Then everybody then assumed that it was it was never a charity. I was going to give So I was going to give a percentage of my purse to charity, but it was never a charity event. Do you know what I mean? I'll say it right now, I was doing it to get money to pay my mum and dad's mortgage. That's the truth. Because I was looking at about 25-30 grand for it. So I offered him 10 grand to step in the ring, and he was like, nah, fuck that, I'll just see you in the streets. And I was like, shit, he's actually got beef. I was like, I've not got a do you know what I mean? So I was like, what the fuck? Aye. So I was like, that's when I realised, like, maybe, that's when I realised that he doesn't really care about that shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I thought he was like me, he wanted to kind of reach the top, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, he's already there as well. Everybody, like, do you know what I mean, mentioned his name, so it's an opportunity for us both to go to rise. So I was literally just doing it to sort of create more gossip, like give him an opportunity. Know that he needs opportunities for me, because here I am still no chatting shit about his name. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not like that. But I was just wanting an opportunity for us both to rise and all that shit. And then obviously he declined it, because he just wanted to do it in street or whatever. I was like, what the fuck, man?
Actual Mortal Kombat shit.
Get me? Like, and then he was like, I will film it and that. I'm like, bro, I'm a brand owner. You think I'm what to be on the internet scene in a street fight? That's so unprofessional, man. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and say I'm about that life. Like, do you know what I mean? Step in the ring, maybe, but nah. So everybody started saying, oh, what about him? What about him? And then boom, all the call-outs at him. 20 TikToks a day, 20 different people saying, box me. But if it wasn't Mark Hamilton, it wasn't going to sell. Fact. Even user pals with Max.
Max,
he was trying to get in the ring as well. I was like,
everyone's wanting a slice.
Everybody was, man. It just wasn't going to make sense as much as Mark Hamilton was.
Was there no names that you thought of, like, maybe?
There was a few. There was a few, but I done that on the private shit, and they declined it. Nathan Kerr.
Just dropping names.
Do you know what I mean? So people were just the people that I thought would also can make us a bigger fight as the whole Mark Hamilton situation. They declined it as well because they had like maybe zero boxing experience or whatever, or just knew I was going to take the W. Do you know what I mean?
That's about trying to make it like there's got to be the entertainment value there as well, rather than just being like this is the fight.
Exactly, because there was people were like that. Oh, but you're only wanting people with followers and shit. Duh. And then they twist it. Twist it, be like, oh, but people with no follower doesn't mean you're better than anybody. I'm not saying that. But Jake Paul fighting a junkie off the street's not going to sell tickets, is it? It's so not. True. So you need somebody with followers to create you need his supporters to sell shit. Like the investors were investing like 40 G's, bro. Like I need to get their money back plus make profit, and I'm not going to do it with somebody with 300 followers. I need somebody else with
Caz beat Duffy coming up soon.
Do you know what I mean though? So it just really wasn't making sense. And then so I had another meeting with the events company and the investors, whatever, and they were like, look, we can't get an event till the end of 2022. But I wanted it this year. Like I wanted it to happen like October time, September time this year. But obviously weddings, stuff like that was all pushed back with events. So we were like, we can't get like a suitable event because we were going to have big screens. It was costing 15 grand. Everything. It was going to be like a proper event, like dancers, performers, all that shit. But I was like, I'm not promoting a boxing match for a year and a half, and I couldn't even get a decent name in it as well. So. We've not had a meeting since. So when everybody's asking what about the boxing, it's just like, I don't know, it's on hold maybe. Fuck.
Just on the back burner for the time being.
See with that, do you like care about records and shit in terms of boxing? Like,
if anyone's got experience in that.
Like, see how like if, for example, you got Jake Paul, obviously it's going like 3-0 or whatever. Like, do you care about the record, like the winning record, the losing record? Like,
if it was somebody that was like a big enough name to like help drive
like, would you ever
sales?
Go like? See if you did do the first fight and then you go on to do more with a bigger name or whatever else, would you think about trying to get as far as you could? Like
100%. Because like again, and that's another thing as well, I wanted the money to pay off my mum and dad's mortgage. I wanted the money to give a percentage to charity. I wanted enough money for me to maybe like, get a good house or whatever. But another thing, it was just a father-son bonding shit as well for me and my dad. Do you know what I mean? My dad was training me. My dad's a professional coach. Do you know what I mean? So my dad was training me, would be in my corner, and that's sort of like a dream. But the only reason I'm like never got into boxing when I was younger is because like my dad back in the day was sort of forced on it. Right. You know, it was back in the day, it was rougher and shit. So my dad, maybe, I don't know, I'm guessing it was maybe PTSD when me and my brother were getting into boxing when we were younger. My dad sort of pushed us away from it. Yeah. Just because he didn't want us to feel the way he felt.
Yeah, but what you want to do, no what
but he was only wanting the best for me and my brother, do you know what I mean? But that's why I never proper got into it. So when this opportunity came, me and my dad was like, let's get the bag. And then, pretty much. But when I would have won that, bro, the second event would have been like 10 times the size.
Everyone would have been flying in, like folk want to like.
Exactly, bro. People would have seen that it would have been a success. People would have seen the money opportunity, the growth of opportunity, the opportunities that come with it. Everybody would have been calling me it.
Well, that's the thing, eh? Like as soon as, like for example, say you won that, and say there's a certain name in your head that you want to say. It'll blow up either way.
I'd already prepped my speech after I won.
Yeah. I think a lot you tend to do that, especially if because
again I was just trying to manifest it all. So I was like preparing everything for straight after the W. Grab the mic, just chat shit. I was ready for it, bro. But
fair enough.
It's just kind of on hold, man. Pretty much. I don't know what to say. It's no happening because I still want it to happen, but I've not been training nothing really. I mean, it's just sort of put in the back. I've just got other focuses. I didn't. Do you know what I mean?
It's difficult when you've got your own business, though. Exactly. Like you've got a lot of other things to be focusing on before that. Like.
Fact, exactly, bro, exactly.
Yeah, so we put up on our story being like, we've got Caz on. If we've got any questions, so obviously There's
is there any serious ones? Yes,
there is a few serious ones, and a few we're gonna have to avoid just for like But so the first one was actually quite a genuine one. It was how did you start Ligan?
Again, I kind of covered that earlier. Obviously, I gained experience through my past career, kind of thing. Like being down London, I just gained all the experience, and then, but I still wasn't ready to start a business. Like, so when I came back to London, I still had a period of about maybe a year and a half before, like a gap before I actually started Ligan, and that's when I went through depression, anxiety, and shit. So I had a lot of time, like, just couldn't even leave my bed. So even though I was like dealing with that stuff, I was still new, like, I was obviously just trying to fucking survive, do you know what I mean, if you're going through that shit. But I still had to spend like a year learning business. How do I deal with tax? How do I start a business? How
just operating everything.
Just the wee things like that I had never really had experience in. So Google, I say this to everybody, Google's got all your answers. As stupid as it sounds, like even starting a business, Google everything. And if you can't find it in the first 10 minutes, guess what? Spend 3 months researching it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people, it's like, oh, but they just want the answer.
Everyone's wanting a quick fix rather than having to graph.
You're never going to get an answer rapid, man.
The cheat code to it.
So just put in the research, and again, just DM anybody that you're inspired by as well. Never be scared to DM somebody that's like, do you know what I mean, further on.
Yeah, like a bit of like inspiration for you.
Exactly. Like, that's like me. I DM everybody, bro. Yeah. And then like some people were like, I says to a few. In fact, there was a makeup artist. She was like, "Oh, I want to become like bigger, blah blah blah." I was like, "I'll message her." Nah, it's embarrassing if they didn't reply. How?
Cares, you're still shot.
Who gives a shit?
That's the thing. It's like if you don't have a ticket, you didn't win the lottery.
Exactly.
Like you've got to like get yourself out there.
Exactly, bro. Like people ignore me like 100 times a day.
Yeah.
Still that one person that replies that gives me value. Do you know what I mean? That you're only looking for that one thing. So just research, man. And if you're inspired by me, give me a DM. Do you know what I mean? I'm happy to help. No give you answers though.
Put you in the right
because the thing is, like, as harsh as that sounds, you're not going to learn if you just get answers. There's so many people that says like, who's your manufacturer? I want them. I spent 3 years trying to get this manufacturer. Do you know what I mean? But you need to go through that. Like, you need to go through that shit. Like, just to learn and get used to.
It's trial and error.
Bro. Do you know what I mean?
But so the next one is a less serious one. It's would you ever consider getting a mullet?
I think so.
By the way, I actually thought about it.
Did you? Like, is that a lockdown?
Because like, it's because like my fades, right? Like, not to blow my own dick, but I feel my haircut's a wee bit iconic.
Aye, but I mean, there's a lot about your haircut in here.
Exactly, because like people are like, oh no, it's like, all right, we'll put your hair on a mannequin. Will anybody identify it? No, put my hair on a mannequin. You're like, oh, that's like Caz Milligan's hair. That's a fact. Because like
That's a good point.
Innit? So it's like, because I didn't get a full fade. You get me? But my fade comes down at the back a wee bit. So I was like, shit, I might just keep growing the back. But I've thought about it, but I don't know if I'll actually do it.
Business in the front, part in the back. But I mean, there is quite a few about the hair, quite a few about Starbucks, quite a few about chocolate.
But the thing is, see the hair, right? Obviously, some people like whatever, right? But has your hair been on a French magazine? Mine's has.
Flexing there, flexing. So our third one is what is your go-to meal deal?
Was that Co-op?
Just anywhere, like any supermarket.
I hate this question, man, because I feel like it's so like a popular thing, but I never do it.
I didn't rate meal deals.
I didn't really, nah. I don't know what it is. I'm never really at the Co-op though. Like, I've not really got a meal deal. I hate to disappoint, but if I was to get one, the sandwich will probably be a BLT.
Nice one, yeah.
I get BLTs for Starbucks.
So is that like your go-to? Like, got chocolate cream?
And a BLT, but the past couple of weeks I've not had it, bro. So I've had to get like this chicken sandwich, but it's like $2.50 or something, and you get half a sandwich. Like even bringing you a Starbucks, that's like 12 quid, bro. Yeah, it's mad, bro. But I'm addicted.
Cheers. Much appreciated. The other one is, how did you find out about the infamous chocolate cream? Like, how did that come about?
Right, good question. I want to talk about that as well because, right, I do not like coffee, right? But Starbucks was like a materialistic, like stereotypical, like it was a popular place.
Yeah.
I wanted to be part of it. Right? I was like, I want a Starbucks, but I hate coffee, man. So I said to them, I was like, look, I just want like a hot chocolate, but freezing cold. That's the first thing I ever asked for. I didn't know how to explain it. So I was like, I want a hot chocolate, but freezing cold. Do you know what I mean? So I started getting that like every day, and then obviously I realised that they had the white chocolate cream. And then the first ever white chocolate cream is when I made that TikTok that blew up.
Yeah.
I was like, for years I found that they'd done a white chocolate cream, and I did, but that was actually one thing that I never manifested or not. I just a random video that ended up blowing up and getting me to where I am today. But that's how it first came about. But another thing as well, this is why I want to talk about that, is because even though like I've made this meme last nearly a year, right? But everybody's like, oh, it's no funny anymore, stop going on about it. It's like, but it was just
still like, funny to admit it's for a year.
No, but it's not just that, but I spoke about chocolate creams like all the time before the video blew up.
Yeah.
Like it was just always just part of my life. So if I talk about it still, it's not because I'm wanting the attention, it's just because I was doing it before it was a thing as well. Do you get me?
I mean, if you're getting one every day as well, like...
Exactly. And I make money off it.
Restock coming. But yeah, I mean, there is quite a few questionable ones in here that definitely cannot be made.
Is there any from you and Jones?
There is, literally the top one is... can I get your autograph on a Starbucks cup, and do you get discount on
This man's obsessed with you. No wonder why.
I know that. To be fair, Jonesy was the first one. He was like, "Shout out you and Jones." Is
that one of your boys?
Yeah. That was literally it. Was him that was like telling us about you first. Like when you first blew up with like the chocolate cream video. He was like, look at like, and he was going through like all your other videos, like check him out. So
should give him a wee shout out.
We've got
name,
you and Jones.
Right, big ups you and Jones.
So we've got Jonesy and Ryan to thank for getting you on, because it was them that was pushing us to get you. So
message me, I'll give you a discount.
But yeah, no, I think that's the most Instagram questions we can go with. But so happy to round up there.
The rest feel inappropriate.
They're quite inappropriate, yeah. But yeah, happy to round up there.
I understand, like,
brilliant.
Aye.
Thanks for having me, boys.
No, thanks for coming down, man. Really
on,
appreciate it. It's class.
Sweet.
Big thanks to Liam from Loopmaniac for having us down as well.
And the boys.
And the boys, the team behind us as well. If you're a band or an artist or whatever and you're looking to get in, be sure to hit up Loopmaniac on Facebook. Thanks for everyone that's tuned in. We'll see you next time.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, boys.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.